All right, what's going on, everybody? We have a quick update for you on our tugboat build. Becca's going to help demonstrate some of the things that we've done to it over the last couple of weeks. We're about halfway there, and we've got a few things to go. We'll touch on what's coming up next, but for now, let's start with the horn. So we have our, I like to think it's a tugboat horn. It looks exactly like what I was going for. It's got that red kind of marine type look to it. I didn't want one of those high frequency air horns that, really get a true air horn. You got to have a compressor and all that stuff and some tanks to really get a good sound out of it. And so I wanted something that at least looked right. The aesthetic needs to be there. And this is from Amazon. I'll put a link in the description down below. It's held up with this 3D printed mount. And I wanted it up and out of the way. When you view it from the front or the front 3/4 view, you really get a feel for kind of that aesthetic that we're trying to go for. It is activated by this pull cord, which runs through the top of the boat over to here, and Becca will demonstrate how that sounds. Other way. There we go. So you can kind of hear it sounds kind of like a tugboat, right? So that is good. The next thing we have is our, what is this?
Fish finder. It's
our fish finder. This is a Garmin 4CV with down imaging. It has quick draw mapping on it. This is something that's actually the first fish finder that I bought for my little boat a while back, and I've had it ever since. So why not put it on the tugboat? We have not mounted the transducer for it. We will do that when we start working on the bottom of the boat, sealing up the hole. I'm going to make sure we get that right. So it's just kind of hanging out for now. But this guy will do all of our fish finding for us, give us GPS speed. So once we start to get a motor on here, figure out how fast this thing is going. One other thing is we've got our radio. We did a video on this. If you haven't seen that, I'll put a link up here so you can see it. If you can hit the play button and make sure it works. All right, so we got tunes. There's 4 speakers in here, and it's running off this USB stick, so I put a USB jack on it. Go ahead and pause it. So this does AM, FM. It's got a radio antenna up here, again, for the aesthetic. Like boats have antennas and stuff. Another thing I want to touch on was our battery kill switch. So that's been mounted here kind of out of the way so nobody bumps it. And you can take this key out if you want to and fully kill the boat. Not wired up yet, but that's going to be the intent, kill all our electronics and stuff like that whenever we're ready to do that. And so those are the major modifications we've made so far. We've still got a lot yet to do. I'll show you our motor. So our motor showed up and it's broken. So we bought a 48 volt 2200 watt motor and it showed up and the head's cracked off of it. I'm dealing with Amazon or the seller with that, and I'll let you know how that goes, but a little bit disappointing. I did get word that our battery should ship, so we have a 48 volt battery that should be on the way, which should be great for efficiency and a ton of power. There's a lot of reasons why I went with the motor I went with. Once we get the damage sorted out, I'll talk you through that. One other thing we need to talk about is steering. So my printer has been very busy printing parts, and these are out of ASA. So if we're talking in 3D print lingo, you've got PLA, which is very basic material. You've got PETG, which is okay. This is ASA, which is very strong material. You print it at a pretty high temperature. Obviously for steering bits, we want to make sure that it's going to do its thing. So what will happen with this is we're going to remove that steering wheel and cut out the boat, and this will go in there. It's got 3 bearings here, and these bearings are for these planetary gears. These 3 guys set in here. These are just skateboard bearings, basically. The sun gear goes on there, and then go ahead and put our top gear on there. And this is what's going to actuate our steering, just like that. So this will be mounted in the boat with a push-pull cable going to the motor. And as you turn the wheel, it will steer the boat from the helm. Our motor has a remote throttle, so we'll put the throttle up here, and you should be able to actually operate the boat from the helm like a real boat. Isn't that cool? With that said, we've got some things to work on. We've got some cleats. We've got the stern light. We've got rod holders now in here. We're about halfway there. So anything else? You excited? We're about ready to get this done. It's still a little bit cold here, but we should be ready by, I don't know, a couple weeks, 3, 4 weeks if I can get my way. And stay tuned for the next one. We'll see you.